Welcome back to WDRB Media, the voice of your community, giving you double the information and inspiration. If you're just not tuning in, hopefully you're listening through your iHeartRadio app, TuneIn Radio app, or you're streaming live on your laptop at WDRBmedia.com. You're listening to A New Day, and I'm your host, Juicy J, and I have two guests with me today as Mr. Bay is away. I have Taveion Morris here to my left, and I have Czar McKinney to the right. The reason why I have them in today is because they are both former students of East Mecklenburg County schools. And so since this week and last week we were talking about unity in the community and safety within the school systems for our children, I wanted to bring them on today. So as we continue this conversation, I wanted to get their inputs as to what, looking back from being former students in high school and still being young men in the community, what incident could have happened while they were in school and what they feel that either the school personnel or security could have done differently as a situation escalated in the school system. So, Czar, I think we'll start with you.
Well, looking back on my high school days, of course it's high school, and so when you're young, you have a lot of energy and, you're just out there kind of in a sense, and you don't really have too many cares. So with that being said, an incident could happen at any given moment. Someone could start fighting, someone could get stabbed, or whatever the case may be. Given the school that I went to in high school, in here in Charlotte specifically, there were multiple incidents where there's kids that's gotten jumped or, kids that's done, got beat up in the bathroom or whatever the case may have been, and I really think that it starts with the school's resource officers and security guards, and those people, fit to be that personnel. Just because for the simple fact that another kid can't stop another kid with a gun. I'm pretty sure that kid will be more terrified of the kid with the gun than, trying to get the gun from him. So I think that they need to do a better job securing the schools, definitely. And from there, then we can further the conversation.
Okay. So when you say securing the schools, of course, Mr. Bay and myself, we gave a great example as to the fact that I feel like, even though I know that the police department is swamped enough in the community, but if we're going to be in a situation and in a community where they do not want to invest in the money with the metal detectors, then we need to get some more people on foot to be in these school systems. So I like how you mentioned the fact of the resource officers and the security guards in the school. So my question to you, being a former student, with what you saw, is it, I'll give my opinion as a parent, but as a student, do you think that maybe they're too much worried about being you all's friends instead of being the disciplinarians in the schoolhouse?
I think that statement goes both ways, because you have some staff members who are concerned more with teaching you what you need to know and not necessarily being a friend, but more so being a guiding figure. And then you have those who are put in certain roles and they are more concerned about being your friend and, doing what makes you happy. And that's not always the best, situation. So that statement definitely goes both ways. I'm not too sure on, which of the latter, it goes, but I definitely think it goes both ways. I can't tell you because I didn't have too many friends that were staff members when I was in school. They didn't like me. They didn't like me at all. So.
Okay. All right. What about you, Taveion?
Well, me personally, coming from the school I came from and knowing how easy it is to leave and get back on the campus and how easy it is for just like not even students but just strangers to come on the campus and be able to put children's lives at threat, and also the teachers and the community around them. Like, for example, the school I went to, there was an incident where this guy came on the campus at the end of the day, and he actually, stole, I think he stole a student's phone and also, stole some money from him or something. And for that to be able to happen that simply, and we have a community and, people pay taxes for this type of stuff, I feel like law enforcement should be more in effect in those areas, and maybe not just law enforcement but teachers themselves. I feel like they should be at a certain time of the day or just throughout the day, there should be somebody on call or on duty patrolling the campus at all times. The school violence shouldn't even take it to that level in my opinion.
Okay. That's a good point as well. So I'm gonna ask you the same thing that I asked Czar, and that would be, with your experience being at the school, did you feel that the faculty or or staff, were they more focused on being you guys friends, or were they more focused on protecting and being the actual teachers?
Well, I've always had teachers that go kind of both ways. I've always kind of had a 50-50. I always had the serious teachers, and then, like certain blocks I go to, like maybe an elective or something where the teachers are more like chill, like it's more of a downer class, so it's more time to develop those relationships with children. I definitely feel like within those roles, though, those teachers should also set aside the fact that those kids' lives are in their hand, and that they should make sure everybody's protected at all times and throughout all situations throughout the day evenly.
Okay, I think both of you guys pretty much have the same outlook on the situation with the faculty and staff, but then at the same time it's different. So real quick, we won't say the school that you guys went to, but it's the same school, but it's an age gap. So Czar, let's say the year that you came out of high school, and then Taveion, you tell the year that you came out.
2014.
And I graduated in 2017.
Okay. And just listening to the two young men that I have here today, I think it's really interesting as I reflect back on when I was in high school and even in grammar school growing up in Chicago. And it's just like so different because I'm listening to them as they talk about their teachers. And then as I reminisce on my teachers, none of my teachers were my friends. Everybody was a mother figure, a father figure, and we knew that they were there to educate and to protect us. So as I think back on the incident at Butler with these young men, when I remember, we would get into fights at school, and trust and believe in Chicago, it was a lot of them. But the teachers always protected. It was always at a point to where if somebody was being beat up all the time, that teacher knew, and it was always a mediation thing, and the parents were involved at an early phase of it before it actually escalated. And so just to hear the difference in the teachers, and I guess what's the word I'm looking for?
No.
I'm losing the word because I want to say the right word. I don't want to say the community. And how it's changed and how the outlook of community has changed from me being in high school in the 90s and then now, in the early 2000s, how it's just drastically different. So on that, I think we're going to meditate on as we leave you with those two aspects and points, and then we're going to take a break. So you listen to WDRB Media, the voice of your community, giving you double the information and inspiration. We're going to take a break, pay a little bills, play a little music, and then we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.